Have you guys ever wondered in your life, how would the GOAT resume look if like title defenses didn't matter, bro? It doesn't matter how much title defenses, doesn't matter how long you're on top of the hill for. How would the GOAT conversation go? Would it be different? Yes, it would, bro. If title defenses didn't mean shit and all that matters was who you're beating and how you're beating them, shit like that, this video is going to show you the GOAT list. So I'm going to title it the 15 best resumes in UFC history. So these are people, you look at their resumes like, what the hell is this, dog? Like why are they low-key beating like the best in their division, the best of the best, and they look great doing it? So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. So listen, if you ever wonder, yeah, dude, like, you know what I'm saying, I wonder what the GOAT division would look like if title defenses didn't matter. I feel like people like Lucas Tracy and even Bedtime, it falls victim to it sometimes, where they like make a GOAT list and they're really making this list, especially Lucas Tracy. Lucas Tracy would have Ilya and all that shit and all these random people on his list. He was making the best resumes, but he didn't realize it. But I'm going to show you the correct way, because even though he did that, he still did it wrong, dude. Like, it was wrong. So I'm going to show you the actual 15 best resumes. And when I say resumes, I want to preface this. Wins is the only thing I'm going to be looking at. I don't care who you lost to. This is wins trump all. So in this list specifically, you better listen to me saying this part. The wins trump all. Your hairline trumps all, like on your face. Wins trump all on this list. So I'm going to be going through this list. Let's get into it, because this list is actually cowabunga, bro. Trust me, dude. Hey, dude. This is like for the casuals, for the old timers, for the hardcore fans. This is the most cowabunga it gets. Let's get into it. Starting off with the number 15 spot, which we got Petr Yan in the number 15 spot. Listen, bro, his resume is low-key nasty. Like, listen, Aljamain Sterling, the bantamweight GOAT, arguably the greatest bantamweight of all time. I've heard people argue this. I've argued this for Aljo before. One of the best bantamweights of all time. You know, 3 title defenses. He's looking like one of the best bantamweights. And Aljamain Sterling is a win on Petr Yan's record. I don't care what anyone says. Like, this is a legitimate win on Petr Yan's record. If you look at how bad Petr Yan was beating this man up, bro, before that fucking knee, that's a win. Secondly, Jose Aldo. And the Jose Aldo one is like, it's impressive because even though it was on bantamweight, Jose Aldo's one of the greatest featherweights of all time. This was before Jose Aldo was looking like, like, yeah, he lost to Conor, but like, he was still looking good, still looking sharp, good striker. But Petr Yan beat him. And then we got Sugar Sean O'Malley. This is a win, bro. This is a win. All right, I don't like that I'm starting off my number 15 spot with like kind of delusion, but I swear to God, he beat Sugar Sean O'Malley. Like, he did. All right, he went in there and he comfortably beat him, no matter what anyone wants to say. He might have got robbed, but he got that victory, all right? And then, of course, Corey Sandhagen is a great win. Corey Sandhagen is a good win for anyone. The way Petr Yan battered him on the feet. Notice how all these guys are like elite strikers, aside from Aldo. And Yadong's also a good striker, but everyone here is an elite striker. And Petr Yan TKO'd Jose Aldo. He outstruck Sugar in total strikes. He outstruck and dropped Corey Sandhagen. He outboxed Yadong. He's the best striker in UFC history. And on top of that, he's beating these guys. This guy has one of the best resumes I've ever seen in my life. And he's beaten some talented fighters, some real talented fighters. So I'm gonna show Petr Yan his respect, and I'm like, put him in the number 15 spot. Stop sleeping on Petr Yan, bro. I know his hairline look a little bit like, man, fuck, that shit ugly as hell. But listen, it's not about hairlines, bro. It's about aura, it's about presence. And this guy's resume, his wins, just dale, brother, dale. Number 14. Next guy on this list is gonna be Max Holloway. Now, he wasn't on my top 15 GOAT list because I don't think he's the GOAT because of, like I said, GOAT list, you got to factor in losses, all these other stuff. But as far as resumes goes and his wins are concerned, Justin Gaethje, he beat him. Justin Gaethje has been an interim title champion, interim title holder. He's also been a BMF. You know, that counts for something, dude. BMF counts for something. So I'm going to show the Justin Gaethje win a lot of respect. I think it's probably his best win ever. Honestly, it might sound crazy saying that, but I just feel like going up in weight and beating Justin Gaethje after he just knocked out Dustin Poirier, it's kind of crazy. Second best win for me, at least, is the Jose Aldo win. Of course, like I said, featherweight GOAT, one of the best of all time. And he went in there and he TKO'd Aldo. He beat him multiple times as well. So the Aldo win is definitely impressive to me. I also put the Pettis win, a lightweight champion. That's also a good win that people don't really show respect to often, which is kind of weird to me. Pettis win was great. Frankie Edgar as well. Frankie Edgar, one of the featherweight GOATs, you know what I'm saying? Hall of Famer. He goes in there and he beats him as well. That's impressive too. Of course, the Yair Rodriguez win and the Ortega win, they're not all that, but they're good wins. You know, Yair had the interim belt. You know, Ortega was looking good until he wasn't. You know what I'm saying? He even beat Arnold Allen. I didn't put him as like a notable win, but I could do that. You know, Arnold Allen, he's like a little juggernaut. He's like a mini, like, he doesn't give up. He fights like a Korean zombie pretty much, who I did not mention here because he was old, but he fights like a younger Korean zombie. Like, he just walks forward and just puts his chin on the platter like he wants to get knocked out, bro. Like, man, like I don't know. Arnold Allen's a weird figure, but you know he's a. I'll say that's a notable win. I guess I'll throw that in for him. So Max Holloway's beat the who's, bro. So he might not be in my top 15 GOAT list, but as far as resume is concerned, this man is dangerous. And like you know what I'm saying, he got aura. Even though he got knocked out in his last fight, he still got aura, and I still love Max. All right, next up, the number 13 spot, my friend, the bald head menace himself, Volkanovski. So. Yeah, I don't know if people are going to be surprised by this. I think they should, because once they actually look at his resume, they're going to start to realize, yeah, he beat some good people, but he really only beat two legit people. You know, Max Holloway, featherweight champion before, you know what I'm saying? He beat him 3 times. Listen, I know he beat him 3 times. I know that's all the casuals right. Yeah, dude, just 3 times, dude. I know that, dude. He's radical, dude. If you beat someone 3 times, you're the... Listen, you could, if you beat someone 3 times, you just got their number. You're the better fighter. I know Volk's better than Max Holloway. I don't really question that. So, yeah, he beat Max Holloway. That's a fighter he beat. Another fighter he beat was Jose Aldo, of course. Jose Aldo, like I said, featherweight champ, one of the best featherweights of all time. He beat him. You know, Aldo is doing his thing over at fucking WEC, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, once he comes over here, Volk shows him, you know, teaches him who's boss, etc., etc. The Mendes win, Mendes was out of his prime, but Mendes was still a featherweight champion in his life, so I'm going to say that's a cool win. Korean Zombie, I didn't put as a notable win for Max, but, like, when you actually look at Volk's resume, you start to realize like a lot of his wins are like but so I felt like I had to just add a win there, so I put Korean Zombie. I put Old Man in parentheses because like, bro, come on, we all know he was out of it by then. You know, Ortega, you know, good win. And Yair, like I talked about with Max Holloway, not the best wins, but he's beating people. You know, Yair, as I said, interim champion. So, you know, Volk's resume, when you actually look at it objectively, you start to realize, okay, he's not all that, but he's still Volkanovski, so his resume is still talented. So I have him in the number 13 spot. Of course, there's going to be people better. But yeah, 13, I feel like it's a nice place to do old man Volkanovski with his bald head, you know. Volkanovski with hair didn't really have that aura that like we were like the only time Volk ever struggled with Max Holloway really was when he just had that dumb hair, bro. He was getting the shit kicked out of him the first 2 rounds. So yeah, Volkanovski number 13, I think that's fair. Coming in at the number 12, I got Ilia Topuria, y'all fucking yeah. Look at him, bro. Just look at him, bro. First of all, this guy got aura like beyond belief. I love Ilia Topuria. He's just one of those champions that like, bro, he gives me Conor McGregor vibes. And like, look at his resume right now. I'm being real. He's getting carried by 2 wins. Volkanovski and Max back to back is crazy. Not just back to back, but knocking them out cold back to back. That's when we start to realize, okay, this guy might be a little bit, you know what I'm saying? He ain't no joke. So I'm gonna show respect to Ilya in that sense. You know, he beat arguably the 2 featherweight goats. You know what I'm saying? He beat Josh Emmett, which people aren't gonna applaud too much, but I think that's a really solid win. Bryce Mitchell at the time like was looking really good. You know, of course, Ilya Topuria shuts that down. Jay Herbert wins aging well. So is the Zala win, the Yusuf win. They're all aging well. You know what I'm saying? So Ilya Topuria is not only gonna have wins that are aging well, but he's beating like the people who are like the best in the division of all time. So Ilya Topuria is special, bro. Like, he's special, bro. Imagine he goes up and beats Islam. Like, this guy, like, then we're gonna have a serious conversation. Like, Ilya wasn't in my top 15 GOAT list because I said title defenses matter, but title defense is not mattering. I still think he's be like top 12 because his resume is just sexy. It's beautiful, bro. So shout out Ilia Topuria. I'm gonna give him respect. Put him number 12. Not quite top 10. As you're gonna see, there's other people with way better resumes, but his resume is really good because he gets carried by those 2 wins that he had against the 2 featherweight juggernauts. But who is number 11? You're probably wondering. GSP, bro. Look at his picture. Like, his picture looks like a little, like, I don't know. It looks outdated. I don't know. Why is he... You know what's weird? I've noticed with this PNG or this picture with GSP, he's turned the other way. Every other fighter is facing the other way. Bro thinks he's special. But my point is, you know, you look at his wins, like, they're outdated. Yeah, like, most of them don't really got hairlines or old men. But at the time, they were great. Hughes twice is a great... it's a great feather in your cap. So I'm going to give him credit for the Hughes wins. The BJ Penn, of course, BJ Penn was lightweight and welterweight champion. That's a good win. He beat Bisping, who was the middleweight champ when he went up in weight, which is probably known as, like, one of the worst middleweight champs as far as, like, title reign, et cetera, et cetera. But, you know, you got to respect him. He still went up and beat Bisping. I did put Nick Diaz here. Bro, Nick Diaz in Strikeforce was him, bro. He actually had a belt in Strikeforce. Stop playing with my boy. So Nick Diaz, I'll give him credit. That was a decent win. Like, stylistically, like, GSP was gonna maul him, of course. We kind of all knew that, but I'm gonna still say Diaz was a great win. Beat Carlos Condit as well. Got dropped in that fight, went through adversity, but showed he was tough, you know. And Condit is a welterweight champion. And I put Hendricks question mark because I still think to this day Hendricks beat him, but I'm not gonna cry over spilt milk, you know. GSP got the win, so I'm gonna show respect in that sense, and I'll be like, okay, GSP, he's a little bit cool in that one. I didn't even put Matt Serra on here. I know Matt Serra was a former welterweight champion, but Matt Serra was so bad. His wins and losses ratios in the UFC was horrible. You know, his best feat was just fluking GSP. So I didn't. But listen, we could mention. I'm gonna give Matt Serra a mention. You know, mention the dude too. But it's just like GSP's resume. Like, I'm just starting to see like it's good, but like. a little bit to be desired, I guess. Like, it'd be nice if he were to beat like a Whitaker in middleweight instead of a Bisping, but he didn't want that fight. You know what I'm saying? There's some people that GSP could have beaten that would have just exploded his resume up there. But as far as the wins concerned on his resume, I still think he's a number 11 fighter. This might be a hot take. I don't understand everyone loves GSP, but when you actually look at names on his resume, people could even argue Ilya being above him. You know what I'm saying? But I think I'm going to respect GSP, give him the old man respect, put him number 11. Now, we are going to go into the top 10, starting with the number 10 spot, which is Conor McGregor. Whoa, Keddy. And I was roasting Bedtime for his list because Bedtime put him in a top 15 GOAT list. No, not in a top 15 GOAT list, but top 10 resumes. I think he's top 10 because if you look at the amount of champions he's beat and the amount of people he's beat, it's kind of impressive. First of all, he's the first one to actually beat Prime Aldo. So when I say Prime Aldo, I know Aldo lost to plenty of people like Jan and Max Holloway and Volk, all by TKO. But who started this trend? He was like, I swear, Aldo was undefeated for nearly a decade. And then he goes in there with Conor, and Conor knocks him out in seconds, 13 seconds, I believe. So he literally beat Prime Aldo, so I'm going to show him respect. That's definitely the best win on his resume. He also beat a good Chad Mendes, unlike Volkanovski. He actually beat a accomplished in his prime, I'd say, Chad Mendes, so it was very impressive. He beat a prime Alvarez, which is very good. People were like saying they didn't know who was going to win when Conor was going up. He beat him pretty comfortably. He beat Max Holloway earlier in his career, who aged as a good win, aged to be a featherweight champion, so I'm going to respect that. He beat Dustin Poirier earlier in his career as well, who aged to be an interim champion. I respect that. And he did beat Nate Diaz, And Nate Diaz is not like, bro, he's tough. Like, he's a fucking juggernaut. He would have been welterweight champion or like fought for the belt if like he actually finished the job against against Leon Edwards when he had him rocked in that fifth. So listen, bro, Conor actually, like, I see Bedtime's vision in the sense that like when he put him top 15 GOATs. But like I said, I feel like GOAT list title defenses do matter. People like Lucas Tracy and other people, like even Bedtime fell victim to it. They don't realize like getting on top of the hill and then defending your belt is like the hardest thing to do as a champion. So that's why they're gonna show people like Ilya. He's saying Ilya's top 5. Lucas is saying that bullshit, and Bedtime's like, yeah, dude, and fucking Conor's top 15 over Adesanya all time, bro. I can't be asked, bro. I can't. But what I can say is that Conor, as far as just name value goes and resume goes, look at this dude's resume. That shit's crazy. So I'm going to say he's a top 10 resume in UFC history. So listen, John, like I said, this is resume based. So don't call me a casual for bringing Conor top 10. Resume wise, name value wise, look at those names I just read. Look at the names on the screen, bro. Are you kidding me, bro? Are you joking, bro? Those are fire names. So I do think Conor McGregor is a top 10 resume in UFC history. Coming in at the number 9, I got the guy who beat him, Khabib Nurmagomedov. And people try to be like, yeah, Khabib fought no one, dude. Khabib fought no one. That's not true. Don't fall victim to these idiots saying Khabib fought no one. They're just probably referring to his fights before the UFC, just like everyone in the UFC who was champion fought nobodies before the UFC. Kind of how shit works, but they try to gaslight you. But I'm not here to gaslight you. I'm here to spay facts. He beat prime RDA. Like, RDA at his best. And I think that's his best win ever, honestly. The way RDA was riding a long-ass win streak, Khabib beat him. Then after Khabib got hurt, couldn't fight for the title, RDA won like 6 more fights and then beat Pettis and just became champion, defended his belt. So that was a really great win for Khabib, and I'm gonna show him credit there. I think it's his best win. Of course, he beat McGregor, who was a featherweight and lightweight champion. You know, that's a double champ. He beat Dustin Poirier very convincingly in his prime. That was prime Dustin Poirier, by the way, when he was an interim title holder. Beat prime Justin Gaethje when he was an interim title holder, who also aged to be a BMF belt. He beat Edson Barboza, like arguably one of the best strikers, if not the best strikers in lightweight history. You know what I'm saying? He beat MJ, who the fluke master. Bro, MJ could fucking beat Francis Ngannou, then lose to Pantoja in one day. Like, it is what it is. It's how Michael Johnson fights. So people try to be like, yeah, dude, like, he's not even Cowabunga, dude. It's not a good win on Khabib's resume. Nah, you're wrong, bro. It is a good win because MJ like could have Dustin Poirier him. You know what MJ did to Dustin Poirier? It could have happened to Khabib too. Like, he knocked him out brutally. You never know what you get with MJ. So I am gonna give Khabib credit for actually like just getting him on the ground and fucking changing his face. He changed his face that fight. So yeah, man, I don't know, man. People stop sleeping on MJ and stop sleeping on Khabib's resume, because look at this shit. Just look at your screen right now. Look how much people he beat, how much champions he beat, and the way he's doing it. He's just dominating them. So I feel like that's a top 9 resume of all time in the UFC. And then at the number 8 spot, we do got his training partner, Islam Makhachev. And I think Islam Makhachev, like, as far as people like to say, yeah, Islam just beats featherweights, man. Like, I don't know. He beats featherweights, bro. He's not even cool. Bro, he's beaten the featherweight GOAT, though. Like, it's one thing to beat, like, a featherweight and then beating the featherweight GOAT. So he beat Volkanovski twice. He showed that he beat Volk going to points, you know, 4-1ing him, convincingly beating him. Whether people try to gaslight you, it was close or not, doesn't matter. And then he showed he can knock him out. I know people are going to be like, oh, short notice. Volk spent minutes in the ring. He was confident in himself. He went in there, he took the risk, got knocked out. Oh well, bro. I'm so sorry. So I'm gonna show respect to Islam Makhachev there, beating Volkanovski twice, which is in back. Like, it's not easy to do that to Volk. I'll just say that right now. He beat Charles when Charles was in his prime. Charles looked really good in his last fight. So this one's even gonna keep aging well. But he beat Charles when he had the second longest win streak in lightweight in the division. Like, what I'm saying, they both had the battle of the longest win streak. And that's where Islam prevailed. He came out, he looked good, and he beat him. So beating Charles at that point of his career was like very pivotal, very important, and it was very talented. Like, it showed talent that Islam has. So that's a great win as well. He beat Poirier, who was an interim champion in his career. I'm saying? He went through the fire a little bit, but it was a convincing win. Like, he was up 4-0 until the finish in the fifth, so like he was dominating him. But like, of course, Dustin didn't make it easy. Cut his face with the elbow. He was stuffing takedowns, made him work for it. Of course, the Arman one's gonna continue aging well. Arman is fighting for the title against Islam next year, so we're gonna see how that fight goes. He's gonna beat him again. It's gonna be Arman X2 on his resume very soon. He beat Dan Hooker, who's a great win as well, and he beat Bobby Green. To even get the title opportunity. So that's a good win too. Bobby Green, I know he's but like, listen, it's one of those wins that Bobby King could really put a clinic on you if you don't come prepared, and he could knock you out and beat the crap out of you. But he didn't do it to Islam because Islam was smart. He could wrestle. He's just well rounded. So I'm gonna say number 8 for Islam is a fair assessment and a fair place to put him. Next up, number 7 spot, we got Israel Adesanya, bro. And I feel like this is the only like fair place to put him. Like, bro, his Pereira win. Bro, Pereira, who's a double champ. That win aged so well. Considering the fact that no one's beaten Pereira since then, even though Pereira's kind of taking the easy route, not finding the harder, like, he didn't fight the Ankalaevs yet. So I'm sure, if he ever fights Ankalaev, Izzy's not going to be the only one to ever beat Pereira. But for now, I'm going to show Pereira respect, and I'm going to say this guy is like not touchable right now, and Izzy's the only one to touch him and piece him up like that. So Izzy knocked him out, by the way. Even in the first fight, he's beating the shit out of him 3-1. The amount of success Izzy had against Pereira is just not normal. Like, beating up Pereira for an entire fight, then getting like TKO'd in the last round, that's like hard to do in the first place. And then knocking him out brutally in the second fight, impossible, bro. So I'm going to say that's one of Izzy. That is Izzy's best win. Very talented, and I got to give him credit for there. Of course, the Whitaker twice, great wins. He showed he could knock out Whitaker within the first 2 rounds, and he also showed he could go the distance and beat Whitaker comfortably. People try to say that fight's close. It was 50-45 Izzy, more closer than it was fucking a Whitaker win. Shout out to the media scorecards. Some media guy actually scored a 50-45 Izzy. Majority of them was 49-46 Izzy. But the point being, Izzy won that fight, but people try to gaslight you nowadays like it was close, even though it wasn't close at all. But whatever. Of course, a prime Costa win when Costa was 13-0. Beat Johnny Hendricks up, beat Uriah Hall up, beat up your Romero. Then Izzy just stopped the hype train and destroyed him very convincingly. The Wilkinson win aging well because he was a PFL champion in 2022, I believe. Kaden Air, great win. This is before Kaden Air was chinny. This wasn't no chinny Kaden Air that Mob I was getting the best of, and Brahalo was. What I'm saying? This was a good Kaden Air. He like the Kaden Air that could beat the fuck out of Strickland, shit like that. So it was a good Kaden Air. Of course, the Silva one, cool. This is older Silva, so it wasn't really that good, but like Silva did beat Derek Brunson after this fight, so Silva wasn't completely out of it or whatever. So that was I think he beat Brunson before this fight, and then he got the fight with Izzy, something like that. He was coming off a win when he fought Izzy. So and then Izzy obviously beat him, no surprise there. And then Victoria twice. Victoria's not the best, but like he beat up Victoria, who's he's game, bro. Victoria would get all these frauds the fuck out of it. He could be a great gatekeeper, and Izzy beat him twice. So I'm gonna give Izzy his credit, put him number 7. Next up, we got the number 6 spot. I'm gonna put Daniel Cormier, who I feel like is underappreciated, but I feel like as far as resume goes, he's a very talented fighter. Of course, going up in weight and knocking out Stipe, not an easy task at all in the slightest, but he did it, and he beat him. And then, of course, he beat Anderson Silva, who was a middleweight champion, very easily. Beat Rumble Johnson twice, one of those coming from finish from submission. Beat up Gustafsson, who's like in my opinion, the best fighter to never win a belt. Honestly, I think Gustafsson was that good. He only ever he came so close to beating both DC and Jones, which shows how good Gustafsson really was, because those two are like fucking elite, crazy ass fighters. So Gustafsson has a great win. Dan Henderson, of course, who's a Strikeforce and Pride champion, beat up Frank Mir, who's a middleweight champion, beat up a prime Lewis, a prime Derek Lewis. He made it look easy though, because he just like exploited Derek Lewis for having no wrestling at all. So he took him down, fucking mollywopped him, just like fucking clobbed him up, blobbered him up, blubber boy. So very good win. I hate this picture of DC. He looks like a fucking beluga whale. Like he's not. This is like when he was getting out out of shape. I wish it was like a better picture, the UFC.com. I don't know why they put in the Blubber Boy DC, but like I said, DC is still, one of the best resumes ever, and very, very overlooked. I don't really know why, but it's a little weird to me. Now we're into the top 5 best resumes, and we're gonna start off with Stipe Miocic, who I feel like has a nasty resume, bro. DC twice, who was a light heavyweight and heavyweight champ. Of course, it wasn't prime DC. It was DC at 42, like 41 on his way out. Kind of like how Jones beat up Stipe at this age of 42. You know what I'm saying? So like, it was like, listen. It was a good win in the sense it was a good win, I guess, but like name value wise. But of course, it wasn't prime DC. I still think it was a great win. He beat Ngannou, and Ngannou wasn't like intelligent Ngannou, more like the cocky Ngannou who thought he could just walk in and knock out everybody, then got fraud checked for that. And then even after that fight, he lost to Lewis. So it wasn't a prime Ngannou, of course, but he still beat Ngannou. JDS win, good win. Overeem win, good win. Strikeforce champion. Werdum, good win as well. Arlovsky, great, not a great win, but good win. Former heavyweight champion. He beat Mark Hunt. Mark Hunt's a good win to anyone. He's like, people forget, man. Like when Mark Hunt used to just sleep people and then would turn off and walk away, bro. Mark Hunt was cool, so I do think that was a great win for Stipe as well. So as far as wins go, Stipe's heavyweight resume, he beat almost every heavyweight GOAT. Like literally, that's how I see it. So very good resume. I have to put him top 5. It would be illegal if I left him out of it. People sleep on him. As far as resume goes, he's really good. The reason he's not this high in the GOAT list, of course, because his losses, the way he lost some of these fights. He's a good fighter, which was why I'm going to put him top 5 as far as resume is concerned. But yeah, a little bit more to be desired as a heavyweight GOAT, I suppose. Next up, number 4 spot, I got Merab. And I know you're looking at the list of Merab and you're like, wait, it's not as packed as other people's lists. But look at who's on the list. Aldo, one of the featherweight GOATs. Featherweight champion. Cejudo, bantamweight and featherweight champion. Merab mollywopped him in the wrestling department, picked him up in the fireman carry, ran him out of the burning building. Are you kidding me, bro? Sugar Sean O'Malley, bantamweight champion. Everyone was gassing him up. Merab goes in there and mollywopps him. Peter Yan, who's like was looking like one of the most dominant bantamweight champions until the Aljo situation, and then Merab just goes in there and just Merab maxes him, just takes him down, like shoots 50 takedowns on him. And then Marias, who's also a bantamweight champion. Look at how much champions he's going in there and just fucking mollywopping, bro. None of these fights were close, by the way, chat. There was no split decision in any of these fights. Just pure UD domination by Merab. Like, Merab is a juggernaut. Merab is like, he's one of those people, you look at his resumes, you're like, how the hell is it that good? He could even be top 3. Like, he's lucky he's top 4, like, because he's actually one of these fighters who, like, you look at his resume and you almost think it's fake. Because how the hell, when did he beat these guys? Or how the hell did he beat these guys? So I'm going to show Merab his respect, bro. This is why people like Lucas Tracy, who don't really care about title defenses, put Merab so high. Because honestly, resume-wise, he's that good and he's that high. So I am going to show him respect. Title defense is not mattering means he's one of the greatest UFC fighters of all time. Straight up like that. And if you hate that, you hate facts. And like, don't hate facts, bro. Facts are what make the world go round. And this is a fact. Without title defenses, Merab is one of the best, if not the best fighter of all time. Now we're on the top 3. Number 3, I got Kamaru, the Nigerian Nightmare Usman. Like, look at his resume. Kobe Covington 2 times. I know nowadays people don't understand Kobe when he was at his prime, so they'd be like, Kenny, what do you mean by this, dude? You're not right, dude. It's not right, dude. Kobe sucks now. But real ones, no, I don't really gotta explain who Kobe Covington really was. He used to go in there, like, put bad beatings on fucking Tyrone Woodley, put bad beatings on Robbie Lawler, put bad beatings on all these guys. And then, like, Kamaru Usman goes in there, knocks him out the first fight, decision him the second fight. Of course, Woodley win was great because Woodley was in the conversation of like becoming one of the welterweight GOAT, literally. And then Usman goes in there and 50-44s him, 50-43s him. Are you kidding me, bro? You don't just beat up a GOAT guy or someone in the GOAT conversation like that. That significantly. Great win. Of course, he beat RDA, who was a lightweight champion. He beat Strickland, who aged to be a middleweight champion. People don't talk about the Strickland win. If you look at the Strickland fight, trust me, Strickland's fight style never changed. Like, he might have got better just by just fighting more or leaving the weight class, but his fight style never changed. He's been fighting the same his whole life, and Usman destroyed that style very easily, and it aged to be a middleweight champion, so that's a great win for him. Also beat Leon Edwards, who aged to be a welterweight champion, destroyed him the same way he was destroying him in the second fight before the head kick. Jorge Masvidal twice, you know what I'm saying? The first fight, he foot stomped him. Oh, you're just gonna crush Sniff, dude. That's all you got. And then he knocked him out in the second fight. And like, Jorge Masvidal was riding a 3-fight win streak. Darren Till, Ben Askren, Nate Diaz, you know what I'm saying? Even had a little scruffle with Leon Edwards backstage, beat the fuck out of him. And then, like, Usman just destroyed prime Jorge. And then he beat prime Burns, who was riding like a 6-fight win streak. One of them being Tyrone Woodley, running all these guys. And Usman just goes in there and he's just Osman. He just Osman maxes them. And I put Hamza draw because I'm coping a little bit. Not really coping, bro. That was a draw. Rounds 2 and 3 goes Usman. Rounds 1 was Hamza. But yeah, Usman's resume, when you actually look at it like from this point of view, you start to realize his resume is probably untouched. And unlike Silva has the record for longest win streak, He's second place, and look at his win streak compared to Silva's. Silva's fighting taxi cab drivers. He's fighting Stricklands, Edwards, Jorge's, RDA's, all these guys, Covingtons, Tyrons. It's just different, bro. Different level of thing. So I'm gonna show respect. He's definitely top 3 all time for resumes. Number 2 spot, we got Ngannou. Look at this bro. Just take a look at this resume real quick. Miocic, heavyweight champion. Cain Velasquez, heavyweight champion. Dos Santos, heavyweight champion. Overeem, Strikeforce champion. Arlovsky, heavyweight champion. Gane, interim champion. Blades, twice. That's a great contender. Ferreira, PFL champion. And Rosenstrike, who was riding a 5-fight win streak before he fought him, which is great. And I know people are going to be like, oh, Dos Santos sucked, though. Dos Santos riding that 3-fight win streak with Derek Lewis, Tuivasa, and Navov. That wasn't bad. The Overeem was not watched at the time. Overeem had 6 wins in his last 7 fights before that. The only loss was to Stipe Miocic. That was a great win as well. So even these names that you want to say they're washed or something, they weren't washed. Heavyweight Stipe was not washed. People can try to gaslight you like he was washed. He was still in his 30s. He was 37, 38, which is not old for a heavyweight. Anyone who actually knows heavyweight fighting knows 37, 38 is not old. We see Pereira, even a light heavyweight, that's not old. Like 37 is normal. And then fucking Ngannou just destroys him like that. Because once Stipe couldn't take him down like he could to younger Ngannou, like that's when the shit went left. Now you can't take him down. You're forced to stay with him. He knocks you out. This guy, like right now, even I still think he's the best heavyweight in the world. He beats Tom Aspinall comfortably. It's just his fight style is very good. Before he beat Gane, like Gane was that guy, and he literally gave John Jones the blueprint to beat Gane. Just goes in there and fucking Francis Nurmagomedov. Like he just shows people how to beat people like this. He has submission finishes in his career, knockout finishes, mollywop people with wrestling. He's just a full package, and his resume is just perfect. This is literally the perfect. If you can make the perfect heavyweight resume, it's literally this one. I don't think the only difference is he never fought DC because at the time, like he was on the way out. DC was on the way out, and DC just lost 2 back-to-back to Stipe. So after Stipe beat DC twice back-to-back, he went in there and knocked out Stipe. This is the best heavyweight resume of all time. You can't make it up. If title defenses didn't matter, it's not even a conversation for how good this guy is. He would definitely be the top 3 in UFC history on everyone's list. But that leaves us with the number 1 spot. You guys are probably like, who's number 1? You shouldn't even ask that question, of course. John Jones. Look at this resume, bro. DC light heavyweight and heavyweight champ. Stipe heavyweight champ. Cyril Gane interim champ. Gustafsson, one of the best champs that never won a belt. Glover, who aged to be a light heavyweight champ. Rua, who was a light heavyweight champ. Bader, who ended up being a Bellator champion. Cheetah, who was a light heavyweight champion. And Rampage Jackson. The list goes on and on. Trust me, I could keep naming people, just these older generations. But he beat the old gen. He beat the new gen. He's beating everyone. Of course, the big thing right now, yeah, dude, but he's ducking now, dude. Dude? He's ducking, bro. He's ducking Aspinall. He is ducking Aspinall. That's a fact. I still think he beats Aspinall, and I would love to see that fight just so people can know what I'm talking about when I say Jones could wrestle him for the first round, fatigue him. All that movement Tom Aspinall does will be exonerated, destroyed. Of course, I said exonerated. It'll be destroyed, and he won't have it anymore, so he'll be forced to just get wrestle fucked or try to strike with Jones while fatigued. Tom Aspinall's best weapon is his explosiveness, but that does not last 25 minutes. Jones could easily beat him if he just brings him to the deep waters with his wrestling. Trust me. I know I'm going to sound crazy now, but if they ever fight and it happens, you know exactly what I mean. But do I think they're going to fight? No. I think Jones is going to duck until the day he can't duck anymore. But listen, bro. Look, as far as like when everyone always wonders what the GOAT list will look like without title defenses, look at this video, bro. This is the GOAT list. This is what it looked like without title defenses, and this is 100% accuracy. There's no tweak. No change should be made to this list. I think this list is legitimately perfect. So that's it for me, bro. Let me know what y'all think about this list. Let me know if you think I cooked on this list or you think it's just BS still. I think I cooked. I know y'all gonna try to be like, nah, dude, you missed someone. Dude. Nah, I ain't missed no one, bro. Everyone who's supposed to be on this list is on this list. But that's it for me. Let me know what you think in the comments. I think I cooked, but that's it for me, man, and God bless. 2, 3, 4.